Hey everyone, it's Joanne, and today I'm going to be making some watermelon kimchi, which is, I know, not what most people think of when they hear the word kimchi. Instead, they think of this, which was what I made on one of my short videos recently. And boy, oh boy, did it get a lot of very strong comments. Why? Because in the video, I was talking about cultural appropriation in food. Unfortunately, it's really hard to talk about this topic in an honest and thoughtful way in just 60 seconds. So I thought I'd actually do that here over a recipe that many might argue is, quote, not authentic. Though to be fair, I did get the idea from a South Korean blog. You can find the full recipe in the show notes below. In preparation for my book launch last summer, I wanted to make a video that showed everyone all the things I learned about kimchi, kimjang, and even my wesungmo, my aunt, who is largely responsible for teaching me all about making kimchi. I hired a professional videographer to shoot a full recipe video, recruited my mother, my aunts, my cousins to help make the kimchi, and even considered shooting the video outdoors on my parents' patio, although it turned out to be a little rainy, so we nixed that idea. Alma suggested we use her kitchen island to salt, sauce, and roll, and I looked at her like she was sort of a lunatic. Why in God's name would we do that? Because you're followers. I don't want them to see us making kimchi on the floor. But we've always, forever and ever made kimchi on the floor. And besides, your island isn't big enough. Are you sure? They won't think it's strange that we're making food on the floor? I waved her off. No, we're making it on the floor like we always make it. Doing it on the table is totally ridiculous, and no one is going to make fun of us for doing it the way it's supposed to be done. So you can imagine my disappointment when I proudly posted a picture of my mother, my aunt, and me surrounding a massive silver bowl of newly sauced cabbage doing the kimchi squat, and someone commented, "On the floor? No thanks." My mother is 90 pounds, sopping wet. She has osteoporosis, autoimmune disorders, and sensitive skin. She's allergic to everything, but of all the things that make my mother frail, it's the shame she has internalized over kimchi that inspires a wild fury in me, not at her, but at those who continue to reinforce her instinct to hide. When it comes to cultural appropriation in food, there is and must be space in the world for cultural appreciation, even in the form of adoption. The planet will change, the food growing out of it will change, and the people cooking in it will change. The adoption of and experimentation with different cultural cuisines is a critical component of not just ensuring we can still eat the same versions of the foods we've loved, but that we continue to innovate more delicious food. How else can I, as a Korean American, create vegan versions of Korean food? And yet I do get angry when I see someone thoughtlessly hacking away with their knife at a beautiful head of Napa cabbage. I do get irate when someone comments on my recipe, "Oh, I just chop up all the cabbage in advance. The way she does it is a total waste of time." And yes, it chaps my hide when I see the same folks who would have turned their nose up at kimchi 30 years ago selling their, "You can use paprika instead of gochugaru kimchi because it's now cool to eat this thing called kimchi." I want to be crystal clear. I don't care what people make in their own kitchens. In fact, I think it's brilliant when people mix and match and try new things. That's how we come up with more delicious food. But when you're driven by making money and not making more delicious food, and you're willing to sell another person's culture to do that without even acknowledging it, well, not only do you end up making less delicious food, you end up catering to the majority, the ones addicted to TLDR content, the ones who still believe in their heart of hearts that the right way is to do things the way they've always been done, the way most people have done them. You cook on the table, you use utensils instead of your hands, and if it smells different, it smells wrong. Obviously, there's so much more that I could say about this topic, and I do in episode 31 of the Korean Vegan Podcast, but I hope that this short 4-minute video not only provided you with a fun, interesting way to use your watermelon rinds, but also a little bit more insight. Have a lovely, wonderful day, everyone.